So I really feel like she looks so, funny right now, without so many, factors that I'm missing. I do think I want to work on the ears and see how that kind of changes my feeling or emotion towards her. And it's really hard to work like this for me because I can't really, especially now that I'm on the top of the head. But I just grabbed a chunk of clay, and it might even help to grab two chunks, both about the same size, just as if I'm trying to make, two pinch pots the same size. Um, Trying to work on two ears the same size. And I might realize that this is way too much clay. I might not. And I also want to take a look at some of my other views here. Like your ear is pretty flat over here. And you're not really seeing much of that fold. Again, pretty flat. So there's a lot of space kind of up at the top. Where she will, where that ear is going to be placed. And I really just honestly love kind of just working at the form in my hand and shaping it out. There's all this cut area down here where it's kind of a little bit funky. I'm going to try and also replicate that. An ear is also really thin. I'm not going to make it as thin as it is realistically, but I will thin out some of my edges so it gives that illusion. And because of the way, she's sitting there, this might be way too big. And I'll have to kind of adjust and cut down. And there's so much detail in here, which I'll also have to add, but I just kind of want, and it's hard because I think like in this view, her ear might be doing something a little bit different than what's going on the front view. Maybe look at my other views to kind of get a better idea. And again, it's so hard for me to work so far away from my project. I also think like I created that whole flat area up there, like it's probably going to, it should be that sort of length. I do think I have it a little bit big, so maybe I'll rip off a little bit of clay down here. And if you're not like satisfied with, my demos, I can't, I strongly encourage you to kind of to research and look and, how to sculpt an ear, or, if you're doing an elephant, how to sculpt an elephant ear, or how to work with a pig's ear, or, just don't, like, if you're not satisfied by the way I describe it or by the way I work, and I'm almost cutting this all off. I think I might leave it so I can actually score and slip that area. But I really do strongly encourage you to kind of also to do some research and to look at some other people doing it. This is a struggle for me, so you're watching me also kind of struggle through things. I'm going to kind of add some of the details that I'm seeing in her ear by just adding a little bit of clay here. Kind of working through some of the other things that I'm seeing. And I'm just kind of doing it a little bit quickly and maybe even a smidge, sloppy, or maybe try and pinch some of that. Kind of work through it so I get some detailing inside of her ear. And I need to hold it up too. Like I need to be able to see it straight on, and you know, if that's too big, or you can kind of determine also, you know, my pencil test. So, you know, from measuring, you know, that part of the ear and how big that is in relation to the top of the head. You know, and it is a little bit bigger. How does that relate as well as like in relation to the two eyes? I love the pencil test. So then I would come over here and it's about the same distance as, you know, my eye should be. And that's actually, like I thought it was a little big, but I think that's pretty spot on. And I may kind of attach it and, you know, adjust while it's on there. You know, score my area. Slip also. Just kind of score this. So I may kind of adjust and figure out, you know, some of the logistics of what happens, and then obviously making a second one. You know, is that, you know, does that work when you look at it straight on? And I think it needs quite a bit of work, but again, it's just it just takes, you know, maneuvering and working. I've also kind of lost, and again, it's really difficult for me to work this way where I'm not seeing on top. Just kind of changing some of that. I also think I would benefit from seeing the computer image too. Looks way like more like Layla, still pretty rough, but having the ear on helps quite a bit in relating it back to the dog. And I did really thin out the areas, the edges. Where you know, and I'll just kind of have to work at it a little bit more. I think you guys kind of get the gist, and you know, it's hard, like I said, I keep saying it, but it's hard for me to see and work with my computer up here and the project so far away. So I might continue to work on this a little bit more, and then you'll kind of see the finished product here. I may also try and again start my other one also, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to pay attention, and then I'm going to sculpt through, and it shouldn't be too far off from what I just had. You know, where it attaches, it's going to sit on that flat area. Just kind of paying attention. Working through. I need to see more detail of what's happening inside of there. But again, trying to do this twice, it's always such a challenge. Same thing with eyes and making, you know, after you make one, it's like, okay, now I got to do the second one, and making it the same size and the same shape, and I always struggle even when I'm drawing. And it looks like there's this like weird kind of fold thing over here. So I don't know quite what's happening. I feel like I need to see my other image to see all the details and what's going on, and you know, kind of hold this up. You know, is it this dog in relation to the one I'm working on in class is way skinnier than my other one. And that's also throwing me off a little bit. But again, I think for demonstration's sake, I think it's just fine. And maybe that's what's going on over here. This is kind of folded over like that. Maybe some cartilage kind of peeking up. And then see how it kind of fits on there and what's going on. And again, score and slip. But I'm going to continue working on this a little bit more. I think this area is a little too big, and I did take off a little bit on my last one. But I want to keep working, and my video can't get much longer than this, so I might kind of stop here and then kind of finish this through, so you'll see it finished in my next step. Be patient with yourself. I'm my own worst critic, and I feel like, you know, she needs so much work. I think there's too much space up here. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we'll see. I'm gonna adjust some things though.